All right, so welcome back to another session of Back Half Hustle, where we discuss different topics to help you agents crush the remainder of the year. And so, Terry, what are we talking about today?
Today, we're going to talk about this program that you've set up to network with other businesses because you said that is like really helping you out in your business, right?
Yeah, it's definitely helped me out, not only by earning referrals, but also brand recognition, being household name in the community.
You don't think your brand recognition comes from all the red you always wear? Come on
No,
now.
that's just my favorite color. So yes, let's talk networking. So what do you know before I talk? This is actually a class I used to teach in Real Academy at our brokerage because I do it so much. But what do you do for networking? Because I know you're the president now of something.
So I joined the Rotary Club a couple years ago, and it was because it's business owners networking and giving back. I'm able to learn a lot of things through them. I actually got elected into the president this year to be the president this year. And one of my tasks is to grow the company. So that will allow me the opportunity to grow it. On another note, I've been studying another fellow agent, Miss Amy Stockberger. She does a really good networking plan also with her vendors. And so it's really geared towards around real estate vendors, but I think it actually spreads even further than that in other business owners. So I've started with that, but I'll tell you, it's not as successful as I'd like to see. It's definitely not as successful as hers is.
Yeah.
So you have meetings like every week and do things every week, though, right?
Yeah, so what's crazy is yes, I do business networking with local business owners in different areas of the Metroplex. And I've also taken that to help me build something similar to Amy for our real estate side of things, clients, right? So, networking with local business owners in the community helps not only earn referrals, but we also collaborate different business ideas. We also give back to the community as a whole and things like that. And then I've taken some of those vendors, invited them to our Stash Home Network, which is consumer face, where I'm that go-to person when our clients need something, right? If our clients need a plumber, yep, I have somebody who I can refer them to or recommend them to, right? And so that program I do a little bit different because I market all the companies that are in there, right? And the business networking groups have helped me get members or get people to the home stash network, and we'll kind of touch base of all that. So yep, I have been networking with local businesses, man, ever since probably maybe pre-COVID. I moved to my town, let's see, I moved here in 2016 because we had a really bad hailstorm.
Mhm.
And that's really when I joined the chamber, the local chambers. And that's where a lot of people can start, right? You need to see what your chamber does for you. What kind of events are they hosting, and things like that, where you can get involved with that. And so that's where I first started networking was with our local chamber. We have what we call a business card exchange. They hold it every Wednesday morning in the library. And it's evolved now to almost similar what we do in our networking groups, but it's different people in that group. So I go to that every single Wednesday, or try to every Wednesday. What's crazy is I've probably, since 2016, I've probably closed maybe 7 people who are chamber members as maybe another handful of people who they just referred me to, right? So I literally just got a referral last week by an attorney who goes to that, and she referred her friend to me, and so we just signed that listing over the weekend, and so
So you talk about using the chamber. So that's another thing. I was in two different chambers because I live in a rural area. But our local chamber it tries, but it doesn't really have a lot of pull. And they'll do things like a happy hour, and you'll probably have 10 people that show up.
yeah.
So is yours like in a bigger area then? And is that why it works?
I don't think it's in a bigger area than you because I mean we're still what we consider a
We only
small
have
town.
10,000 as our population in
Okay,
this.
so we're a little bit bigger than you. We're
Well,
about
I have big
60,000.
areas around me, but that's just the one here
Our
in this
main
town.
town, city is Wylie, which we're about 60,000 population. And so we do have a lot of local business owners in here. But a lot of times our chamber will do mixers with other chambers that are local. So
Right.
like the next town, Murphy, and then Saxe, which is the next town over as well. Sometimes they all get together and they do quarterly mixers all together. So we're able to get business owners within all three cities and stuff. So that may be something you may want to ask your chamber and say, hey, well, why don't we do mixers and invite some of the other chambers too?
Yeah.
Because then that
I
just,
think I'll try that with my Rotary Club too. It's like, hey, let's go visit the sister
yeah.
Rotary there.
Yeah, and so, but our chamber does different events throughout the year as well. And so it just works out. But you have to be involved. You
You,
know, people think networking is, here we go, Terry, here's my business card. Like here's this piece of paper that people throw away. Yep, I networked. You should send me all your business, Terry, because I gave you this one business card that you probably threw away on the way out or lost in the car or it's hiding in your purse for 2 years, right?
yep.
That's not networking.
Right.
That's just, man, that
Gotta have people have to know you. Have to
people
know you, like you, and trust you. Period.
exactly, right? And there's only certain ways to do that. So, first of all, why business networking, right? I tell people all the time, well, small businesses are the heartbeat of our communities, right? If you're a local rural town or community, these small business owners, they may not give back as the big corporations do to the community, but they give back more in time,
Right.
right? They volunteer more and they do pull out their pocketbook and do as much as they can as well. And they're always just helping out and giving back. And so I believe that small businesses are the heartbeat of a community, right? They know everyone. You want to get in front of everybody that they know, and in return, it's almost like what Sharon used to preach is about, cross-pollinating, our databases and stuff, right? But with some business networking, you want to earn referrals and you want to utilize them as an extension to your business. Like I said, as realtors, right? As business owners in real estate, our
Mm,
clients come to us for everything. Hey, I need a plumber. Hey, I need a general contractor. Hey, I need somebody who sells Scentsy, right? I need, an attorney. I need everybody. So
mm,
when you're networking with other businesses and you get to know them and build that trust, you have no problems referring them to your clients, right? First and foremost, that's what it's for. It's for you to be a resource to your real estate clients. So that way they continue to keep you top of mind when it comes to all things involved in life or just about the home, right?
right.
And so that's why I tell people all the time about networking. Now, I used to network with other companies until we built our own. So we've built our own now going on 3 years. We have 7 chapters across the Metroplex. Now, I'm not involved in all seven, even though I'm part owner in the company, right? It's my wife and I. Um, but I run two of those groups at this time. And so, but we have 7 different ones, and I still network with all members and all the other 7 ones, right? But there's realtors in all the other ones as well. And so, when we first started this company and started networking with a purpose, we had to figure it out. We had to figure out, okay, what's going to work? If I see you once a month, do you really think you're top of mind with me? No.
No.
So what we did is we meet weekly. We meet weekly. And you can, as a agent or a business owner in real estate, right? You can do the different things. You can start your own networking group. You can join companies because there's several companies out there, right? Just like ours. Ours is called Let's Grow Networks, right? Like we can help you start one. You can start one with another company out there, or you can just stay top of mind with these businesses that you meet, right? You don't have to necessarily meet weekly or start your own group or be a part of a group, but it's a great way to be consistent
Right.
because you have to be consistent with things. And so when we started these chapters is what we call them in each area, we started with a realtor, right? Myself. We started with a mortgage lender, an insurance agent, for P&C, property and casualty, a roofer, and a financial advisor, really, because these five, if you don't know, they're probably the movers and the shakers in your community, right? They know everybody. They have books of business out the wazoo. And then from there, all five of us start inviting other business owners to the group, right? Other industries. Now, our groups are small and mighty because we are truly exclusive, industry exclusive, where there's only one agent, right?
Right.
I'm not here to say, hey, I do residential, and then you're in my group and you do commercial, and then I have another agent that says, oh, I do farm and
Right.
ranch. when realistically we do it all, right? We help all clients with that. So we are truly that way. We only have one plumber in the group because they could both do residential and commercial, right?
Right.
Now, the only way a repeat industry gets happening is if I myself am okay with inviting Terri to come over and join,
Of
right?
course you would. Of
Yes, of
course you would.
course, right?
So listen, I'm going to tell you my uncle said this to me and it made the most sense. The one person that we sometimes overlook are people that do lawn maintenance or sprinkler systems because they know everything too. Like it's not as salesy of a business. And so your sprinkler guy, it may be coming winterization. You've got to call them, or, you've got to get them ready for the winter. But then they say, hey, we're going to sell it. So we're not really, oh, you're going to sell it. Great
Yeah.
referral network. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So don't even just do our normals, like you said, our lenders and stuff like that. Like think deeper in it because
You
those people can really help.
Yes, you want to invite anybody and everybody who just owns a business. We have a embroidery business, right? They do all kinds of swag items, right? Embroidery, they can do pins, branded pins. They're a part of it. We have a dog groomer that's a part of our.
See, everybody loves their dog.
Everybody who owns a business can be a part of it, right?
Right.
Because the bigger or the more intentional it is, the more of a resource you are for clients or just people in general,
Mm-hmm.
right? So consistency is key, like I mentioned. We host them at the same day, the same time, and at the same place. Each group hosts them the same day, same time, same place. That way, us as business owners, we can put it into our schedules and schedule everything else around it. So that way we show up consistently, right? Um, a good way is if you're an agent, your title companies always want to do things for you, right? Most title companies have a training room that can fit 20 people plus in there and they're happy to have that and help you and be a resource to you. So start with a title company. See if they can help you have that location for free. We try to avoid restaurants only because there's distractions. We don't want an hour meeting because our meetings are 1 hour. We start on time, we end on time. So that way everybody can go about their day and do business. It's
Mm-hmm.
not a social club, right? We're not here to pay for friends. I don't need to pay you to be my friend.
Right.
It's to collaborate and network. And then the friendships are built after that, right? But we avoid restaurants just because a lot of restaurants want you to buy, right? Obviously, it's their time and you're
Mm-hmm.
taking up their space. They want you to buy drinks or food. But if a waiter's coming in, getting everybody's order, making sure it's right, coming to do refills, all this stuff, your
Interruptions.
your interruptions and distractions, your 1 hour meeting's going to turn into a 2 hour meeting, right?
Yep.
A lot of people don't have that. I don't know about you, but I run a business, multiple businesses. So, it's hard to spend 4 hours there as a social club, right? So consistency is key. And then you want to make sure you have a structure or an agenda every week, right? So we start with telling everybody, hey, what's up? How are you doing? We kind of go over some housekeeping rules, right? Like turn off your phones, give us your undivided attention, participate, things like that. Um, Once a week or once a month, you can do your 30-second commercials. So, for instance, my commercials like, hey, everybody, I'm Matthew Soto with Stash Realty Group. I can help you or anybody buy, sell, invest, or build both in residential and commercial. My ideal referral this month is, some home buyers. Rates are steadily falling, right? We're seeing a good impact of that, which is going to bring a lot of more buyers into the market. So if you know
Right.
anybody who we can help, let us know. Matthew Soto with Stash Realty Group. Boom, 30 seconds, right?
Sounds like you said that a couple times.
Maybe once or twice. And so everybody goes around the room, says the 30-second commercial, cool. Then you want to have something of value, right? Because if that's what your networking group is all about, is just everybody saying the 30-second commercial and handing a business card to each other, you're going to get people that leave, that don't want to come back. They don't see any value. You
Right.
always have to leave something with value. So that we only spend maybe 5 minutes on, right? Depending on how many members there are. Then we have some type of training topic. You as a realtor, you have so many resources of how to grow your business that
Mhm.
other businesses can relate to, right?
Right.
They can door knock, they can cold call, they can run Facebook ads, they can set up Google My Business, right? They have the same sales tactics that you call for real estate can happen in any industry and vice
Mhm.
versa. Other businesses grow their business. We can be like, oh man, I've never thought about it. I should do that in real estate. So we have some type of training topic. A good resource is check with your brokerage, see what they have, R&D it, start reading books. Like I have a shelf here full of business books that I'm always reading, always coming up with ideas of how to grow my real estate business. and we just share that with everybody. So we have a slideshow. We put that topic in there. We spend about 15 or 20 minutes on that. And then that way, we're able to discuss that as a group. Like, hey guys, what did you think of this topic? What are you doing differently? Is there something that maybe caught your mind that you can elaborate on, right? Just different topics like that. I mean, it could
Yeah.
be lead generation, it could be about hiring, HR, videos, mindset, anything and everything that has to do with the business, right? And then every other week, we allow one member to do what we call a showcase, where that member has an opportunity about 20 minutes, if they want to take all 20 minutes, to come up and share about them, their lives, their business, what they actually do. So then that way we kind of know more about them, right? They open up a little bit more, you know. There's been many times where I've shared my story just about, yes, I share a little bit about real estate, but it's more about them getting to know me. I've opened up
Who
about
you
being
are.
sober for 4 years. I've opened up about me and my wife, how we met, what we love to do, baseball, traveling, beach vacation, whatever it is,
Hmm.
right? Then we ask everybody, well, what can we help you with this week, right? It's like, what do you need help with, Terry? Oh, I need help with, how to set up my Google My Business. Awesome. I've done that many times. Let's go to lunch and I'll bring your laptops and let's help you set that up. Right.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. What can we help you with? And then obviously we can do thank yous, gratitudes, if somebody sent me a referral, I'll thank them during the meeting, and stuff like that. So, you
So are
know,
these people that you talk to outside of these meetings too, or just kind of like it's meeting and that's it?
no. So, we encourage people to meet for lunches, happy hours, breakfast, Zoom meetings, whatever, to get to know each other, to collaborate, right?
Hmm.
Because, like I mentioned, a lot of these businesses I now have on my home stash network where I help market their business to our real estate, database and clients and social media following and stuff like that, and putting them out there more. And so, yes, we even meet up for barbecues, for family outings,
You have fun together.
we just had one of my clients who was a member of our group. I just helped him buy a home and we helped throw her a housewarming party.
Oh,
It was all of our networking members and stuff, and we just came and fucking played some game called Pick Up the Mic, and it was some fun. And they cooked. We supplied the drinks and the desserts, because they are my real estate client. Um, and we just had a good old time.
yeah,
And so that the friendships are made after the meetings,
right.
right? Because that's how you get to really know somebody and trust them and start saying, okay, you know what? I'll open up my database. I'll open my phone book to everybody I know and promote you and refer you and stuff. And it takes time. People's
You know,
mind,
a
yeah,
lot of times real estate agents, they're transactional. That's what we see. And it's not about building a relationship with people. And it's always, hey, I'm in real estate. How can I help you? And it just can't be that. I mean, of course, you have certain times that that's appropriate, but other times are, hey, like, how's life? What's going on? Things. The one thing I hate right now, the real estate conversations going out is, hey, I was thinking about you, or hey, I was just calling to check in. No, have a real reason, to have a relationship, that it is just not all about business all the time.
yeah,
I have a new agent on the team and we were talking and he says, getting real estate going. But he said to me, Terry, I only go to work and I go home. I go to work and I go home. Well, then where are your relationships? Because your work is your work. That's not I mean, you can still have a conversation, but that's your regular job. You have to have friends. You have to have networks. So he started going to some community things and just he told me a story about a guy at a gas station, said, I didn't even know you lived here. And he's known him his whole life. That tells you something. Like, if people don't know who you are or what you're doing, get yourself out there. Like,
yeah,
talk to other people, make friends,
yeah.
grow relationships with people.
Yeah, and like with these groups, we have either a Marco Polo, we have a WhatsApp chat going, where we're constantly talking with each other throughout the day, right? So it's not just showing up once or maybe just every meeting and that's it. You have to get involved. You have to be in these
Right.
message groups. You have to come to the events that we do. We just threw our teacher party that I talked about in the last video, right? That was a lot of our members. We all came together and we threw these teacher stock up parties and events for the teachers, right? And so it's just about developing those relationships because, like you said, most agents want to be transactional because unfortunately, they don't have any savings when they get into the business and they think it's going to be, $1 million listing or selling sunset. No offense to those people, but
It's not.
it's,
We know that.
they think that's what it's going to be. And they think, oh, if I show up once, you're going to send me all your business. And it's like, who the fuck are you? I don't know you. Let's get to know you before I open up my phone book and trust you with my clients, right? Because at the end of the day, if I refer Terry, my plumber, that is still a kind of an extension of me. I trust my plumber to do good to Terry. And if they don't, my client's going to come say, "Hey, Matt, what the F? You sent me this, you referred
You
this
told me
person
to
to
use
me,
them. Yeah.
and they didn't do a good job." And how are you going to feel? You're going to feel pretty bad, right? You're probably going to want to pay for it to get repaired or, come up with something to help them out because at the end of the day, these business relationships are an extension of you when you do refer them out. I've had
100%.
closed-minded people be like, "Well, that's the reason why I don't refer anybody out." Well, then you shoot yourself in your foot, right? Good luck. You're just going to always be, transactional. Good luck with, trying to stay in business with that mindset. Because at the end of the day, you need help. We can't do this alone,
Right.
you
You
know.
gotta have you, and just like we have more than this, and we do our kind of accountability stuff. Like you gotta have someone to bounce ideas off of all
Yeah.
the time. Try to don't be out there like you think you know it all. Even if you're selling 100 houses a year, you still don't know it all. There's still a different way, and maybe somebody's doing it a little bit better. And so that's why networking is so important. Rather it's networking with other businesses or even with just other real estate agents.
Yeah, and I'm looking right now. We also what we've done we've built a social media presence around the networking groups, right? I mean, I'm looking here in the past 3 years. I mean, we've grown our social media following to almost 1,200 followers. And that's not bad for having about 80 members, maybe, in these groups and stuff. So we give each member a spotlight on social media, right? Like I said, we go to happy hours or group outings and stuff like that. We give back to the community. I started on my YouTube channel interviewing these business owners and getting to know them a little bit better on there and what they do and stuff. So I'm giving them that much more exposure on YouTube. I'm becoming what a lot of people talked about being the digital mayor of your town, right?
That's what you gotta be.
A
Mhm.
lot of people are like, dude, I saw you yesterday passing by. I see you everywhere. Well, it's because I am everywhere, Not I can't be everywhere at once, but I've built up the awareness and the presence of being everywhere, from networking to real estate to baseball to church to, all these networking groups that I go to or, events that I go to my truck being branded to running ads. Well, I don't run ads, but I used to, or
You're on a
promoting the
roll there.
listings,
You're on a
right?
roll.
Just doing everything. I am everywhere, right?
Yeah.
That's probably why if you Google real estate in Wylie, and Google it to find a realtor, I have the most reviews in town because I do an amazing job for my clients and getting the reviews and being everywhere and having that presence to build it. Now, it doesn't happen overnight, though. Most people, like you said, want to be transactional and they're hurting for money because they didn't have any savings that they need to be transactional, but that's not how you build a long-term business. I've been an agent for 11 years and networking is now one of my top sources of business and partnerships with people. You know, if my client needed a plumber today and my plumber's like, I'm booked, they'd probably try to fit us in somehow, some way, even if it's after hours, right? Our HVC company, my insurance agent, right? All these people that I network with,
Mhm.
because I refer them out so much and it's always a give mindset. It's not, hey Terry, I sent you 5 leads. Where's mine? What are you going to do for
Right.
me? No, it's you give, 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 and eventually you'll get it back. That's why it takes
Naturally.
time.
Yeah.
It took me almost a year and a half before I earned my first referral because everybody knows probably 10 agents, right? They're probably family members an agent. Who knows?
Hmm.
But it takes a while, but I've been consistent and I give, 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 give. Now, I do tell a lot of people you do got to watch out for that because there are takers in life, right? There are those people who, if they point blank say, hey, thank you for all the business you've sent me. Unfortunately, I can never send you business.
I'm gonna send it to him over there because that's like, yeah.
Okay, thank you for letting me know that.
Hmm.
You just shot yourself in the foot because I can't
Broken
never refer you
relationship.
back because you're
Right.
showing me that you're a taker, you know? And I don't ask for one-on-one business. I don't say, hey, I sent you one. Where's mine? No, I don't need it, right? I mean, I love to earn it, but if you just share my post, maybe if you just give it a like, maybe if you do just give me a Google review, right? Things that aren't actually giving me referrals, I'm appreciative of all that, you know?
But you're still helping my business by doing something that's just
Exactly.
right.
There's more ways to help a business win and grow than just saying, "Oh, I need all your referrals."
Right.
It's crazy to think that. So, you know, what you don't want to do when you're networking or starting these groups or being a part of them is you don't want to just start and then not show up. Because,
Right.
I tell people all the time, we meet weekly, you've committed to meeting weekly. And if you only show up once a month, we start having conversations of saying, "Hey, are you still a good fit for our groups?"
Right.
Um, because you're just showing me that you aren't committed. If I send you a client, you've proven to me that you're not going to do what you say you do, right? Now I understand everybody has a business to run, there's family, there's emergencies, there's vacations, stuff like that. Oh, cool. But if you only show up once a month when you committed to showing up weekly because you knew it was weekly when you signed up,
Hmm.
kind of fall on my list to kind of help you out, right? To refer you to my clients because you've proven to me that you're not a man or a woman of your word, right? You don't do what you say you committed to do. So you don't want to let members just sign up and never show up, right? You don't want to allow or introduce drama because sometimes there's groups that get so big, it's like a social club and cliques. Like if I'm in high school or I'm in over here throwing up gang signs and stuff in high school, and it's fucking crazy how adults act like that, but it is
Right.
what it is. And I hear that feedback all the time from different groups in different areas and cities and states, and they're just like, yeah, I went, I tried networking, but it just felt like they had their own friends and they never talked to me and they never did this. And I'm like, well, first of all, did you show up on time? Did you show up? Did you initiate? Did you say hi? Did you introduce yourself to them? Or did you just sit in the corner? Or, were you welcoming and they just weren't welcoming back? Or were you
Worth
just,
the effort.
yeah, or you were just showed up with zero effort? And so, because when you start having that type of culture, it's hard to grow those groups and then it's going to be a lot of drama in my opinion, right?
Right.
You don't ask for referrals before you give, in my opinion. You always want to just give. How can I help you? 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 Before I start asking you to help me, you know?
Right.
And you can't expect an instant return on an investment, right? This takes time to build, takes time to earn the referrals. It takes time, time, time. And so that's how I've built these networking relationships and businesses. And like I mentioned, we started and grew our company to almost 100 members, right? We're usually between 80 and 90, trying to get over that hump. And just
And you don't
collaborate.
charge anything for these groups, right? It's simply just connections.
No, so we do charge because
Okay.
I believe that people do have to have skin in the game. So we charge people to sign up and to pay monthly.
Okay.
But for us, we give back. So every portion of the membership dues, there's a percentage that comes out, and that's what we use to throw these community events as a whole, right?
Okay.
And if we don't have that budget in our budget as a group, then the business is just chipping in a little bit more to throw those events. But there is skin in the game because we all know, just like in coaching, right? If I coach you for free, how often are you going to show up? You
Well, shoot,
know,
I'm paying for it right now, and I ain't showed up in a month.
exactly. It's crazy how many times gym memberships, right? You pay, but you don't go. Well, yes, you do got to pay for these groups because I've seen where we've done it for free and it just never takes off. People don't show up,
I like what you said though, is that you utilize that money to do stuff for the community.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the same thing in Rotary. It's we collect dues and it helps offset the lunches that we gather at, but it also gives back to the community.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's how we've kind of grown our groups and started and do different things. And like I said, with time, if your intention is behind it to build relationships, it will work. It just takes time. Yep.
Cool.
And what other things do you do? Is it just Rotary? Or
Right now, like I said, I'm trying to build out that a more relationship. So recently, I do a lot of new construction. So recently, we've partnered with a furniture company that
hmm
was a big name brand and went like hometown. So we've talked to them. We've talked to like Ace Hardware's in our same building. My nail tech, she does stuff with us. So it's giving that because when you close on a house, then I have them giving you items and stuff. So that always works. But I do like the idea of what you're saying. And I can equate that into the Rotary, but it should also be just a separate entity too, because sometimes people don't want to be associated with certain groups.
Yeah.
So starting just another group like a coffee in the morning at 7 o'clock on certain days or something to that degree. And like you said, just getting to know different types of businesses so that they know that they can refer you out.
Yeah, definitely. So, but yeah, man, like I said, networking is awesome if you do it with the right intention. Be consistent, show up, contribute to them, right? As much as, more than they contribute to you, and it will pay off over time. So,
Well, good. Well, Matt, thank you for sharing all that stuff with us today. And what are we going to talk about next week?
I don't know. What do you want to talk about next week?
I tell you what, let's come up with something. We'll bounce it off each other and we'll put it out by Friday. That
Sounds
way,
good.
have people on.
All right, guys, we'll see y'all next week.
All right. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.